Okay, we'll go ahead and call the order at 6 p.m.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for everybody showing up tonight. Ms. Nobles, I guess you're not sure, but go ahead, Liz.
Patty Drew.
Here.
TJ Hecox.
Here.
Jan Songer.
Here.
And Ryan Dietrich and Mike Womack are not present.
We do have a couple changes to the agenda. We're going to pull item 7.0 off. We are going to discuss 7.1, but we're going to move it over to 10.5 under the superintendent report. Where you have some info on that.
Okay, so we're not gonna do 7.2, 7.3, or 7.4.
Correct.
Those are gone,
Right. We're just eliminating 7.0.
but you're gonna move 7.1 over
Yeah.
to,
Right. 7.1 will now become 10.5.
okay.
That's all I got, unless you guys have seen anything else. I thought we have. Oh, okay. If we're good with that, I'll take a motion to approve our consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the changes to remove 7.0 and take item 7.1 and move it to 10.5.
1 second.
All in
Patty.
favor? Oh, sorry. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Patty Drew.
Yes.
TJ Hecox.
Yes.
Jan Songer.
Yes.
Okay. Public comment? We're good. Bring us to item 5.0, our budget hearing. So I will 5.1, open the hearing. 5.2. The hearing is open at 6:02. I'm not sure that needs to be. Explanation of changes made from the proposed budget to the approved budget and adopted budget document.
Did everybody get that information in the packet?
I did, yes.
Did it make sense how we did it? And how all the changes follow through?
It did to me.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. I remember correctly.
I can go over it again if we want. Or
If you want to give a brief run
Okay.
through.
So, the proposed 26-27 budget reflected a budget of all funds of $30,162,396. After the first budget committee meeting, some adjustments were made and approved by the budget committee. Those changes were decreasing the amount of the transfer from the general fund to capital projects by $254,697 to then be used in the general fund. And that was, excuse me, an increase to instructional services of $115,272 and an increase to support services at $139,425. As presented at the budget committee meeting, this would not change, again, as presented at the budget committee meeting, this would not change the overall budget of the funds of $30,162,396 since we were moving the funds around. However, this was not correct. Transfers inflate the budget. And due to the fact that the transfer was reduced by $254,697, the overall budget is actually $29,907,699. An additional transfer was not necessary to balance the general fund. As I was going through and I was putting it all into our accounting software, I'm like, this is not coming out correctly. And I'm like, what is happening here? Why is this not working correctly? So I contacted a couple of people, and it was because we are so unique in our transfers that we have. I did end up reaching out to the Oregon budget law people. And that's the next point here. I consulted the local budget law office at the Oregon Department of Revenue for guidance. The approved budget is what was published in the Astorian. So they guided me to do that. So that is what was approved from the budget committee meeting that we had. The reduction of the transfer resulted in a lower overall budget, and therefore the budget committee did not need to be reconvened because we went from 30 million down to 29 million in it. So the final budget document will have the proposed column, and they always do. It always has the proposed, the approved, and the adopted. And the reason that they have the multiple columns is because changes can be made along the way. So every step along the way, they are noted in the proposed column, approved column, and adopted column. And the gentleman at the Oregon Local Budget Law Office, he was very kind, and he said, this actually happens more often than you would think. So, but he said this mistake just needs to be documented through the way, which it is. And so the presented budget resolution that you all have reflects the reduced budget of $29,907,699. And so then with this, in your packet, I printed off this is just the summary of all funds from the budget document of what it looked like in the proposed. So you could follow the changes all the way through to the approved and then to the adopted. And you'll see that none of the changes, nothing was changed other than that transfer that did not need to be done.
So it's not in this.
Is it not in your?
It's not in here.
So I didn't think I saw it.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Oh, did they get it?
It's not.
I sent it out to you. I sent it. This,
I think, yeah, I don't. I think
I don't see it in here.
It's not.
I can make copies if you.
did you send it out to everybody?
I don't think I'll have that in my packet.
Is everything with the resolution?
I've got the rest. TJ.
Okay. So maybe it's ahead of time so that it is.
And now this resolution is correct.
The resolution is correct.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. The one that was in the paper shows what was approved by. Yeah. I can make copies for
So
everybody.
this is what I was remembering. It was just from the last budget meeting. That's what I was thinking you were talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, let me go make copies of this because I'd like everybody to have it.
Yeah. I guess that would be better than what I'm. It was challenging for me to navigate to the attachments.
Yeah,
It was, I almost had to email you and then I just kept pushing around on
Okay.
things and I found it.
but I don't think, I didn't send her documents.
I didn't see it,
I
yeah.
missed those in her email, I guess.
But didn't we talk about
We
this
did.
at the meeting?
This is, I remember,
Yeah,
so I
'cause I'm
remember it. Yeah.
I remember talking
At the
about
budget
this.
meeting we did,
Yeah. And I'm going.
Yeah,
Pretty
this is
but I do
familiar.
remember.
we can review the financials for a minute while we're waiting, I guess. If you need be. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You did such a good job the very first time we talked about it. We're all, oh yeah.
Yes, I'm going, I remember this.
Okay, so we go over it again, or is it?
I'm comfortable with it, but everybody else?
I'm
Okay. I just want there to be no confusion.
just documentation to back up what you're saying, so I feel better. We are good with that. It'll bring us to 5.3 and we will close the budget hearing.
We need to adopt it.
I was gonna say we
Yeah.
need
Don't
to.
we do that when we do that in the
Oh.
Yeah. we just-
9.2
Oh, okay.
or
Oh,
9.1?
Okay, great.
Don't let's forget to do that.
oh,
Okay, 5.3, we'll close the budget hearing. We'll resume our regular board meeting. Financial report, 6.1. Is there any questions on the financial report?
No questions? Appears fairly typical.
Okay, that'll bring us to 8.0, old business. That's Student-Based Health Center with WIC update. Superintendent.
Okay, so last board meeting, I brought to you guys a request about WIC services here in the district. Moving them potentially from Seaside and Astoria over here to Jewel at the School-Based Health Center. So read what I prepared here. So 2 representatives from Clatsop County Health and the WIC program met with me, and this was last week, and Executive Director of Columbia Health Services, Sherry Ford, to discuss the process of moving forward with having the School-Based Health Center be the meeting site for Jewel. Microphone's annoying. For being the School-Based Health Center, for being the meeting site for the Jewel WIC participants. So a tour of the center took place and discussions about the time frame and working on informing the current WIC participants of a possible change of locations to this site over here. So more work will be done by both representative of Clatsop County Health and the representative of the School-Based Health Center, provided the district with proposed start date and any other pertinent information that we would need to know, with continued communications taking place throughout the summer. They really greatly enjoyed the space over there. They could see greatly how that can be utilized. They didn't realize once they were inside, I hear that all the time about what's behind those windows there. They were surprised what they saw. All WIC appointments would take place after the school day has ended, and they're looking for a start date sometime in the fall
Oh,
of 2026. And I don't know if I'm able to say the numbers, families, but it was much higher than I would know that they're going to have out here. So it would make sense. I know I brought that up to the board before, and you guys were open to that. So that's what we did. We immediately reached out to both organizations, and we met, like I said, last week, and keep those communications going open throughout the summer. And as I have more information, I'll provide updates to the board about timeframes for the fall and how they're going to communicate up to families and whatnot.
so did they think that we could reasonably take care of this?
Mhm.
Okay.
Absolutely, yeah. Yep. My concerns were during the day, during the day, but when no students are here, I still do not want anybody having access to our district from the inside. And then the bathroom also, they have a nice bathroom right there in the center itself, so there's no need to utilize that restroom right outside of the hall there. And so making sure they have 2 people, which there'd be 2 people there at all times, one in the front, one supporting the family in the back.
Super.
Yeah. And I told them this would be the first opportunity of us branching out into the community a little bit, still keeping the focal point here on our students and whatnot in the district here.
I think also that they need to communicate with the families that come, that you will only be allowed to come in this door. You have to stay in the room.
Correct.
It's not like you can wander out and see your kids or
And they,
visit or,
and they would be walking, oops, my right spot, yeah, they'd be walking right through the courtyard, right into, and knocking on the glass door of the window right there with the receptionist.
but I mean, if they have other children in school, you're not gonna go visit.
Oh, no, and this is currently also, we've made sure I mentioned that is not during the school day.
Okay,
So there should be no, I
Okay,
mean, there will be
cool.
no students.
so
in
the
district.
students will not be here at all. Okay.
Not during the school hour time.
Monday through Friday, or will they do some Saturday or Sunday
We
appointments?
didn't get that far yet. They're
Okay.
gonna work with their people. They're volunteers, so it was very kind of them to jump out and be able to do this. They just later in the day than they're used to, but they said they feel it's very important to do this for our community.
That's great.
Very much is.
Okay, item 8.2, 26-27 calendar. Changes for February PD day.
Yes, you might need to help me one more time. So there's a February PD day on the calendar where I think the verbiage on the right-hand side, is that correct?
Yes,
Was just adjusted slightly. I don't know if it's.
it was the 15th, but we moved the PD day to the 19th, so
Okay,
it wasn't changed on the calendar.
okay. And the 19th would be the third Friday.
Friday.
Okay. So that is just the proposal. We want to make sure we're being very transparent. That the proposal date, it must have been on the 12th. That was on
Oh,
Friday. So it was on the calendar. It said in the verbiage, it said the 12th, but it needed to say the 19th to represent what was colored.
Because it changed.
Yeah.
Again.
So we didn't know if we need to bring that to the board, but again, we want to be very transparent about any of these changes. So just wanted you to be
It doesn't
aware.
change anything other than just
No,
the
that's it.
states.
Absolutely not.
It's an action.
I'll make a motion to move the PD day on the 12th to the 19th on the calendar for the 26-27.
I'll second the motion.
Songbird, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Patty Drew,
Yes.
TJ Deepak.
Yes.
Jan Sonner.
Yes.
8.3 policy review updates. Has everybody had a chance to go through those or any questions?
I went through them carefully.
Sounds great. I think I have a motion coming from over there. I'll take a motion to approve.
All right, let's see. Do I read out every single?
Mr.
Yours-
Freeman's asking a question. Isn't February 19th a holiday?
On a Friday.
That might be President's Day.
Actually, you're right.
Usually it's on a
If it's a
Monday,
Monday,
isn't
it might be.
Monday is, the 15th is, I got President's Day for 2027.
It's usually on Mondays.
Yeah, President's Day is always on a Monday, not on a Friday.
Good.
The calendar's in here, isn't it?
No.
I didn't
Oh,
see
I
that.
don't
no.
know. Sure.
And the 19th is a Friday.
Yeah.
Tell me
19th
when
is
I get the
Friday.
calendar.
Oh, and we still have our board meeting on the
Yeah.
President's Day. That's on my calendar.
We can.
Cause I don't, yeah, we don't usually get that.
We don't get holidays.
Yeah.
I think we're good. We're good for that holiday anyway. Yeah, you'll just need to read, you'll just need to read it, how it's written here.
Okay. All right. I would like to move to adopt the changes to the policies as follows. Delete BBAA, individual board members' authority and responsibilities. Adopt the proposed BBAA board members' authority and responsibilities. Delete BD/BDA board meetings. Adopt the proposed BD board meetings, notices, and communications. Delete BDC executive sessions. Adopt proposed BDC executive sessions. CBG evaluation of superintendent. EBB integrated pest management. GBA equal employment opportunity. GBN/JBA and JBA/GBN sexual harassment. Delete GCBDA/GD BDA-AR1 family leave. GCBDA/GDBDA-AR1 family leave, and that's an adoption. Adopt GCBDD/GDBDD sick time.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
No, when I looked through them, it all was fairly copacetic. The changes made sense to me quite a bit.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Patty Drew,
Yes.
TJ Heath,
Yes.
Jan Song.
Yes.
Thank you. 9.0 new business. So 9.1, 2026-2027 budget adoption. You make a motion to approve the 2026-27 budget adoption as read by Patty.
Okay, Jewel School District 2026-2027 resolution. Be it resolved that the Board of Directors of the Jewel School District hereby adopts the budget for the fiscal year 2026-2027 in a total of $29,907,699, now on file at the administrative office located at 83874 Highway 103, Seaside, Oregon 97138. Making appropriations, be it resolved that the amounts shown below are hereby appropriated for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026 for the following purposes. General Fund Instruction, $2,846,213. Support Services, $3,703,032. Community Services, $4,000. Transfers, $4,465,693. Contingency, $80,000. Total General Fund, $11,098,938. Unappropriated, $200,000. Investment Fund Support Services, $5,271,870. No transfers, no contingencies. Total Investment Fund, $5,271,870. Unappropriated, $10,037,984. Special Revenue Funds Instruction, $758,822. Support Services, $325,495. Community Services, $469,287. Total Special Revenue Funds, $1,553,604. Capital Construction Fund Support Services, none. Facilities, $1,745,303. Total Capital Construction Fund, $1,745,303. No unappropriated. Total appropriations, all funds, $19,669,715. Total unappropriated amounts, $10,237,984. Total adopted budget, $29,907,699. Imposing the tax, be it resolved that the following Volaram property tax is hereby imposed upon the assessed value of all taxable property within the district for the tax year 2026 to 2027 at a rate of 3.769 per 1,000 of assessed value for permanent rate tax. Categorization of the tax, be it resolved that the tax imposed are hereby categorized for purposes of Article 11, Section 11B as subject to the education limitation permanent tax rate 3.769 per 1,000. The above resolution statements were approved and declared adopted on this 15th day of June 2026.
Very well read. We have a second.
Oh.
Like, do you want to hear that again?
I'll second the adopted budget as read by Patty.
Okay.
And on the document.
All in favor?
Patty Drew,
Yes.
TJ Heath,
Yes.
Jan Songer.
Yes.
Thank you. 9.2, resignation of board member Ryan Dietrich and a vacancy notice. So the district will start working on the process of backfilling the vacancy. I don't think there's any more to add on that, other than we really don't have a lot in our current handbooks for that process, I guess. So there's some information. I don't know if that'd be something we want to talk about now.
Well, I'll just say, looking through OSBA and having discussion with OSBA and looking at the board policies also, it does say under the main portion of the resignation, it does say the board will determine the procedures to be used in filling the vacancy. And so having discussions and looking at the different contexts in ORSs and also board policy and OSBA. So TJ, communicate you guys a little bit. I can guide with some of the OSBA language also, and then come up with a determination how you want to go forth with this board to nominate, or excuse me, was the exact verb. I want to make sure you get it right here. Replace that specific position here. It would only fulfill the duties up through the term. Ryan was to wrap up here next June, I
Next
think, June 30th.
Okay.
Is there any recommendations on how we want to do that? Or, I mean,
I know that
You would
we
post
don't have to do, there's no certain time frame that we have to do it. So I don't want to rush into just,
And I
I think there is.
after more research, I didn't see a specific, but it did say, I mean, there's some verbiage in some areas, but ultimately, and again, this would be going through what I know to find here, that it's suggested it move,
Yeah.
not too slow.
Yeah.
I mean, basically,
Maybe it was, the posting of it was at a time.
the number one thing is make sure it's very public,
yes.
Right.
very, very public.
Yes. So we don't want to just do stuff, have someone come and say, we're out here and not have it posted. We
Correct.
can take our time and put it out there and let people think about it and do it. And the only drawback is we're even. So if we have something that we're going to vote on, we could end up with no outcome.
Majority
It
there.
could be a tie or whatever. So that's the only problem with not having all five of us there. But other than that, we can continue as long as it takes. So.
We'll get it out there and see what we get back.
Yeah. I mean, not that I want it to drag on, but it's something that
Right.
we don't have to do immediately. Like tomorrow, we got to find somebody. So.
Well, and it does put a burden on the chair because there is no vice chair.
We don't have a
so-
vice chair. Yeah.
And in consideration of
Well,
the
yeah,
board's
so that
responsibility.
is something we should probably look at as far as maybe at least our next meeting, appointing. Add that new business for appointing a vice chair.
Mhm.
We want
Whoever
to,
mentioned it, probably.
as a board, would we want to consider a work session to establish our policy on that? And our
Well,
procedure?
that conversation's probably gonna come through. in a
Yeah,
little bit.
Okay.
Sorry.
One of my heads, I
Okay.
did too.
You're jumping the gun.
Got excited.
But no, that's a great idea. Okay, that'll bring us to, if we're good with that, we will go to 10.0 superintendent report, 10.1 JEA license contract negotiations update.
Just give me a little bit, we've had a little bit of movement on the insurance aspect. We've been talking about district insurance for the last couple of meetings here. So that is moving a little bit more forward. We have, it's not a big update, but we have another meeting tomorrow, I believe at noon. So we're still moving along. We're mid-June here, but we're going to continue on tomorrow.
That was our insurance. Is that
So, I mean,
ever increasing?
yeah, well, this upcoming year with 26, 27, the increase is 3 point, what is that?
3.5%.
3.5%. We're not going to see a big jump, but what the district currently is looking at is potentially staying with what we have right now through OEB, or potentially, and I'm just going to throw it out there, jumping into a organization called One Digital, which is it's potentially a way for the district to save some funds by purchasing a cheaper plan, the Moda 5 plan. I'm using Moda, for example. I know you guys are involved with meetings here, but Moda 5 plan. And then the district creates a group HRA, and that HRA will help allow the district employees, which would be everybody in the district, to be able to receive the Moda Plan 1 aspect of it. And then so therefore the district holds onto this pool, and then as claims are made, and we're going to be pulling money out of the pool there that we have from the district's reserve that we have, And it's something that I believe Napa has, Astoria has. I know we've talked to a couple of districts as well, Tammy. And every district that we've talked about right now at this point says it really has saved them money. You know, Napa's had it for 5 years, I think Dr. Fritz, superintendent, mentioned. And unless we have a wildly high claim year, which again, we talked to the other districts, they have not had that. It really does save the district money, and it also provides the employees of the district a higher level of coverage than even what we have right now. Yeah, which has been, what is it, about a 2 right now? And we still keep the Kaiser plans, and it also allows the vision and dental. And I'll say the district, and I've expressed it in negotiations also, the district is very, very generous with our medical support that we provide district staff. I mean, very generous. We're looking at what other districts provide for caps, and again, 1,600, 1,650, say, 1,700. Closest to us would be Seaside at 1,950, I think, somewhere around there. So some are pretty close, and we are just above that right now. So we are still the highest in the county, and I think even beyond. So
does staff pay into that pool, or is that district pays into that?
So the district would pay into it, and it would allow it's not a savings, it's a value of about $300 per employee that goes into it. And so therefore, that's what feeds the pot and keeps it ready to move.
And that rolls over?
And it would roll, I mean, the idea is to continue to build that pot. Yeah.
And who administers this?
That's One Digital.
Oh, they take care of it, okay.
And then they also take care of all their claims immediately through as a DBS, Diversified Benefits Solution. So therefore, it's all automatic, and they don't have to file their claims at all unless it's through American Fidelity or Aflac or something else supplemental.
And can I add a little context? I mean, Corey said that our health insurance went up, what, 3.5%?
Mhm.
But that's a amount after the state has covered. The increase of insurance premiums is actually bigger than that. So we've been buffered from that by the state dipped into their reserves to cover 7%. So, and I just read an article today, the projected increases around average of 17% for 27. So
Yeah, they're expecting.
if we can take advantage of a way to have a tool that helps us, protect our ability to maintain our coverage, that's a good way to go.
Yeah, I like that. Is there a way to look back at claims over the last few years to kind of have an idea of what is, I think so it's, but it sounds like if it's working.
We would once we're on One
Yeah, once
Digital.
we get going, yeah.
And we'll have the results of year 1, I think, by January 2027. And they recommend having at least 2 years. And I'll be sharing some of this in our meetings here, but,
January 2028.
or 2028, excuse me. And then 2029 would be the 2-year, which would then give us a pretty good, foundation of how much is this really helping support the district here.
Right.
Now, is this one that we've tried before that we had so much problem with, or is this a whole new?
Well, the individual who's supporting us is working for that organization, but that was a different company called Waldo, I think. This is a different organization. That was years and years ago.
Okay, 10.2 Tillamook and Classic Leaders Tour that Corey attended.
So I just want to share a brief update. Was it June 8th and 9th? I think that was last Monday, Tuesday. I attended the Classic Tillamook Leaders Tour, which is hosted in partnership with the OSU Extension Service. And the focus was on economic impacts, challenges, and opportunities within Oregon's farming, forestry, and fishing sectors. And I learned quite a bit, I'll be honest with you, especially in this chair, especially about our forests. I learned quite a bit more than I knew, but to actually see is a whole different concept for me. So we toured several operations, including a robotic dairy over by the Tillamook cheese factories, and they provide some very fine robotic over there, and how they have that down to a science. I was amazed, and then also with the technology involved. And then we also visited industrial forest sites right here in Clatsop County, a live harvest zone as well, and then also where they're replanting the trees, and you could see the zones of how they farm the whole area. You hear about it, but to visually see it all was quite something. And we met with the individuals running these industries. And so for me, I said one of the bigger takeaways is how rapidly these sectors are evolving with technology and how industries are utilizing technology to their advantage. And I said it really highlighted the importance of our district's commitment to the robust STEM. So we have STEM components in the district, and also the career and technical education programs, which you've heard me speak about a number of board meetings. I'm going to continue to push and speak about those throughout next year for sure. And I said ensuring our students are prepared for high school, high wage jobs right here in Clatsop County, but also beyond. I said the tour was a great session in regional collaboration, bringing together county commissioners, including our county commissioner here, for Clatsop County here, or for our zone here, city councilors, legislators, and educational partners through the OSU Extension Service. And it gave us a chance to discuss shared challenges that face families and our communities here. And I said, reminded me of how crucial our regional CT programs are here in the district. The individuals I spoke with who ran these industries emphasized a growing need for individuals and students who understand both technology and the ecology of these sectors. I said, ultimately, it was an educational experience that I was not sure what to expect from it all, but I walked away feeling energized, a little bit more knowledgeable than I thought it was. I mean, there's more than I realized I didn't have in my head by the time I was done there. So that was quite informative for me.
That's wonderful.
Okay, item 10.3, board work session proposal.
Okay, so before Jan stole the thunder. A little bit.
Not sure about the thunder there, but okay.
So I know, and this is me taking my heart out. I'm going to put it on the table and say, I know that these positions they're challenging. I know the volunteer work, they can be very fruitful, but at the same time, they have their moments that really kind of push everybody at some times here. But work sessions, again, this is going to be starting my 5th year in the chair, starting next month here. And I know in my time, we haven't had a lot of work sessions, and prior to myself being union president for almost a decade, I don't think I saw a lot of work sessions, if I'm aware here. And as the district continues to open our doors, and I do mean that, open our doors to our community and being as transparent as we possibly can be, despite the struggles of where we are at times. I think this is another way to bring forth some ideas as a board and discuss things in a more informal situation that doesn't require approvals and all those kind of things. And our community can still come in and listen, and it's up to the board how, you decide if they can participate or not, those kind of things. That's would be up to the board. But I had 2 things, but maybe 3 with Jan throwing something out there that whether we did this in July or in August, I mean, I'm throwing it out there as a suggestion, and I don't know the time. Usually it's right before a board meeting, but flexibility, whatever here. But one of the ideas I wanted to request was to talk about our LGIP. That's our reserve funds here. And I just basically said this, I would like to talk about reviewing our district reserves and account to maximize financial stability with that fund. And I know at our budget committee meetings that we had, there was a comment made about, what policy do we have in place that showcases, where is the floor, ceiling, whatever you want to call it for the LGIP. And I'm doing a little bit more research. I don't see any policies that are set out there, but I think as a district, we can talk about that for sure and decide, is there a point where do we want to dip into those at all for a certain point, or is there a certain level where we just won't go as a district? Is there a resolution, something to protect that fund? Because right now I'm not aware of anything. I don't see anything. And if I'm not in the chair and whatnot, if you can get different people in here, they could work through all those funds. You could have other people who are a little bit more stringent like myself and hold on to what we can to think about the very long terms of the district here. The other one also I thought would be interesting because I've talked to TJ a little bit also on the side about board goals and whatnot as we continue moving forward. And I brought to the board at some point earlier this year about strategic planning. And that's for the academic component of our district specifically, but it also includes what they call the integrated programs, which you've seen me report. And that would often include high school success, student investment account, attendance, those components. And the state, which I was apprised of by the ESD last week, there's 9 components in it currently. The state is now going to increase it by 10. There's now going to be 19 components in the programs. I don't know what those other 10 are going to be. But as I was talking with the ESD and talking about a strategic plan, I know Astoria recently just went through one. It's a great way to collaboratively build the framework for our district structure moving forward around what I just mentioned, investment accounts, early literacy stuff, high school success, 9th grade on track, attendance, all those components. And I thought it'd be a great way to potentially get the board involved with that aspect of it and start getting you more
Mhm.
verbiage about all these acronyms, so you're more directly involved with those things. So when you guys are making goals and decisions for the future, you can have some of the more very in-depth academic components of the district in mind as we go forward. And then what was the one you had just mentioned?
The board, develop a procedure policy for filling vacancies.
Okay. Yes.
I would like to see us do work sessions maybe quarterly.
Maybe,
Because
are you talking even like a long durational type thing?
Just on the calendar. we
just
can
put it on the
calendar.
calendar, you know, like you said, maybe before a board meeting, dedicated hour so that we can talk. Because we've never done that. We've never done this. And I think it's really important to get everybody's input on stuff without having it in a formal meeting where we can actually talk about this and discuss it back and forth and be open and have, you know, maybe comments.
I've never seen it here.
We've never done it.
Can I make a suggestion?
Mhm.
You said quarterly, and I'm not opposed to that at all. I live in this world quite often, especially the strategic planning world. And so I know how much time that is and how consuming that can be. So I like the idea of a quarterly, but also I don't know everybody's schedule, but that to me, I would love to see, again, open to the public, but something that's maybe away from a board meeting. You just set a
Mhm.
specific date that's 3 or 4 hours with a break in between, and it may not be 4 hours, maybe 2, 3 hours, and really delve into it.
Mhm.
And because then I think you would really get fruitful versus buttoned up against the board meeting and the clock's ticking,
Mhm.
and we're only halfway done with maybe one of the conversations.
I'd love to be able to do that, to sit down and talk about some of this stuff and
Mhm.
get it out in the open and get everybody's, you know, what do you think about this? What do you think this? I'd like to do this. And no, I don't think that would be very good. Let's do this. And you just,
Because through some of these things, and then more conversations will come out about, especially as the board of the district is talking about things, then all of a sudden we open up avenues for the community to come in and we start having those community input sessions in place. And that's where the ESD is already, they have, I haven't, well, I don't have it yet, but Ryan Bain, they're one of their representatives for technology and data over there, not technology, but data, excuse me. So they've got the framework to help support districts through that process. And so I asked for it yesterday.
Oh, good.
And so I'm waiting for him to provide it. And that way we'd have a framework as a district to help guide us through what that looks like, and then bringing community involvement, not into these. I mean, they can watch and listen, but maybe not provide input for
Right.
things go on, but
and the only reason I said quarterly is because, you know, everybody's real busy. I mean, all the
Mhm.
time. And it's, I think monthly is way too much. And
okay.
once a year is way too little as far as I'm concerned.
I mean,
And
and they can be virtual.
Sure.
I mean, if that's gonna be
Yeah.
beneficial to try to,
Yeah.
I mean, time stuff for me going through the summer Zoom.
Oh, summer stuff.
So,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm like, probably usually always do a virtual no matter what, so.
But I would love to be able to do that.
Strategic planning, and I know Astoria just went through theirs. What was, you know, I mean, you probably have heard the cost of what some of the,
Yeah, it was pretty expensive. You know, ESD, what we were talking about that in our last meeting, we had an annual looking at our integrated programs coming up for the next year here for the biennium. And their recommendation was, yeah, it does cost a lot of money, but they said by all the things you're doing, especially by the time all 19 of these things are inside the integrated programming, they said all the components of your strategic planning are already basically embedded in all that. And they said, so that's why they said potential, instead of spending it out there and spending money on this, we're going to go through the process anyways. It requires, you know, these kind of things require public input and whatnot anyways. They said, so that was the guide I was referencing, where we could walk us through all the steps to that process, so we could even potentially build it ourselves. With the community and whatnot over the last number of years, principal and myself and whatnot, even when I wasn't principal, I was helping administration prior. I was writing the student investment place of success. So the process isn't new.
I think the hard part is getting the community involvement. You know, from our standpoint, I mean, because our goals are to, you know, every kid to be successful and that they can have a, you know, great place to work. I mean, and be physically responsible, but to get the community involvement input into that thing of what we need to be doing.
Well, and
is good.
I would feel a lot more prepared if I encounter someone in person, happen to be at Baker's or whatever, and a topic comes up, I would feel a lot more prepared to, you know, be knowledgeable about it and, you know, ask for their input and find out what they're thinking about it. Yeah.
Right.
And, you know, we're going to be, you know, part of the board's job is steering things, and It'd be a lot easier once we have that depth of knowledge.
Just ironically, I would be foaming at the mouth.
Do we want to
Well,
talk about any dates for, I'm July 1, I'm not sure about.
No, after that, I like the comment of a quarterly. So I think that July 1 would be no.
What
But
could be our first
but
quarter?
maybe just suggestion again, maybe by the July board meeting, we can at least everybody check calendars and throw some
Mhm.
ideas.
Or
out
maybe
there.
just come and discuss it have it on the agenda at the July meeting and then maybe set a date that,
Mhm.
that we can talk about and work for everybody. Yeah, a time and a day and.
I think
go
we
from
should
there.
think seriously about something in August, and I probably should already be thinking about
We could make
August.
that our first
Yeah,
quarter.
I do.
Yeah.
I'd like to do it before the school kicks off again.
I'm good with tentatively scratching something in for August.
Mhm.
Right, yeah.
Mhm.
Maybe we'll come up with a proposal for something for in July's meeting.
Let's see.
Yeah.
For a date.
True. 10.5, we have our
What's 1.4 there?
10.4, sorry, July 1, 26.
Just
Board meeting reminder.
confirm with everybody that's okay. I know July, we have a lot of people exiting the district for their vacations and whatnot. So we got, I think that's a Wednesday, I believe.
It is.
That works for
First
everybody.
Wednesday.
Um. Would we start it at 6?
That's a full day.
I have an appointment in Forest Grove, but I'll be done at 4:30, so I can still make it here.
We got 2 doctor's appointments, I think. We'll be good. We'll be home by then.
I believe I'm good. So.
Okay.
We can reach out to Director Walnut, see if we can make that. Now we'll scratch it in for that. Let's go with that. 10.5 summer school plan.
Keep it brief, and then we've got somebody on, who'll be waiting for us in about 3 minutes here on the Zoom here. So summer programming, this is supposed to be my principal's report, but I told him I'll take this here. So starting tomorrow, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, elementary kids K through 6 with our summer learning grant that we received, from Orange Department of Education, I believe 44,000, somewhere in there. I reported that last round for a 3-year grant. So it's already starting tomorrow. So, let's see, we have a summer full of adventure and learning awaits for young students. So we're gonna explore nature, create unique art, build lasting friendships, strengthen their reading and writing skills through exciting hands-on experiences. A big focus of the school being outdoors. So we're gonna spend quite a bit of time out there. And then middle and high school, they're gonna start sometime, I believe, the second week. I have to check the date on that in July.
How many kids signed up?
Currently, we need 27 for this ODE to keep this grant moving. We have, I believe, last I heard, 25, maybe 26 already. And I think they're gonna be okay with us for the first year getting off the ground.
Okay.
I believe elementary right now has 21 or 22, K through 6, and high school, middle school, is that 4 more roughly? I think we have 4 or 5. Right. And I have not heard the results as of this morning, so we don't have another.
But we do have enough kids.
We're gonna make it work, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yep. So, and then we have, starting next Wednesday, week from this week is, summer library, from 10 to 1.
Now, are we gonna run a bus to pick these kids up?
Mhm.
Okay.
All 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then summer lunch also is going to be beginning soon here. So they're gonna be providing lunches for, like we always
Yeah.
do outside, and then on, I think Wednesdays it'll be offered here.
Good. Item 11.0, audience clarification. Any questions online? Okay, board of directors time, 12.0. Director,
I don't really have anything specific to bring out to everyone. I appreciate all the hard work for it.
yeah, I would agree. I do think I don't have much either. It's been busy, but, I do like the idea of the work sessions. We've talked about this a long time ago, a couple different times. And It seems like it always gets piled into a training where you really don't get the work session that we're aiming for, so. Yeah.
Graduation was wonderful. So kids were great. Scholarship, I was very pleased with the kids that got their scholarships. It was wonderful. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Item 13, we have future meetings, annual designations in July, and 13.2 board officer appointments in July. So, guess we got that coming right up there. Make a couple corrections. With that, we are going to recess to executive session. I'm going to make a motion to recess per ORS 192.6602F. Consult with counsel concerning exempt public records and information. At 6:51. Representation of the news media designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience are asked to leave the room. News media specifically directed not to report on or otherwise disclose any of the deliberations or anything said about the subjects during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. No decisions may be made in executive session. At the end of executive session, we will return to open session and welcome the audience back to the room. We'll reconvene our regular board meeting at 7:38. Report from executive session was a discussion with legal regarding our current litigation. That's all at this time. And with that, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Oh, are we doing
Oh.
the other one, discuss the evaluation?
No, sorry, no, we're not doing that.
We're not doing it,
No.
okay.
A motion to adjourn.
I'll make motion to adjourn.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Director Drew at 7:39, seconded by Director Songer. All in favor?
Yes,
Patty Drew,
yes.
TJ Heacock,
Yes.
Jan Songer.
Yes.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you.